Welcome to the Daily's Double Shot. I'm Brianna Lai.
And I'm Tyler Steele. First up, Austin Siedenthoff talks with the UW men's crew team about their 5th championship and plans for the season.
Kat Chow tries to catch them all with students at the UW Pokemon Center.
Kim Spalding and Kat Chow covered President Barack Obama's recent visit to campus as he rallied for Senator Patty Murray.
I sat down with former editor-in-chief Casey Smith to talk about the Daily's recent awards.
Check out my inside scoop on the Hub renovation project.
And finally, Kat reviews the food trucks in Red Squre.
All coming up on the Daily's Double Shot.
Yeah.
I'll see you there. Okay.
Up first, Austin Siedenthoff talks with the UW men's crew team about their record-breaking 5th championship.
The UW varsity men's crew team is gearing up for another intense year of rowing. We got to take an in-depth look as the rowers compete for that top spot in the top boat through a small test called a para-trial.
The para-trial is how they decide boats in the fall. What we do is we start on the docks here, so one holds your stern, and then we race out to a lighthouse. This is out on Webster's Point, which is in Laurelhurst there. And you have to turn around that lighthouse and come back, and then between these two orange buoys here, there's a sight up on the that she's using, as you can see right there, that when they cross it through the sight, it's over, and that's your time.
It's a real test of your overall course, how you point the boat, because if you bow too far, you're losing time. Your power, because it's a shorter piece, and then just your overall proficiency in moving the boat, and that's what the coaches like to see, who can move the small boats, because if you can move a small boat, it translates over well into the big boats.
Today we're getting ready for tomorrow's pair race. They'll do a 6,000 meter pair race tomorrow, and so we're going to go over the course they're going to race over tomorrow. And the order in which the pairs come in tomorrow will determine what boat they race in on Sunday at the head of the lake. So we're just doing a pre-race run through, and then they'll race tomorrow morning for their spots on the team.
Right now we're doing all sorts of different stuff, just trying to see who's here to row and who's taking it seriously, and who can make those boats in the spring. Because now this is the time where we're getting our base of our fitness, doing long pieces, and then kind of think of it like a spear. We have the big base now, and as the winter comes, we're just going to slowly tighten it up until until it's just a sharp spear in the spring, ready to do some damage on the race course. So.
That spear has a lofty target as the team takes aim to win the IRA National Championships this spring.
The 10 Ike Trophy is the team national championship, and it bases your overall performance and how good your entire team does as a whole.
It's a way for them, for the IRA that we row for, the organization, to have teams not just have 8 great rowers, but it creates this team atmosphere, of who has the best team, who has the most depth in their team, and who is the best team in the country, not the best 8 rowers in the country.
The last 4 years we have won the team national championship, so we've won the 2 years that I've been here, we have won, and we're hoping for one more, which if all 4 of our main boats that get counted for in points do really well, then we have a chance to do 5, and that's never been done before in IRA history, so it's a really big deal for us this year.
Well, I think our major goal, we always say we want to be the strongest intercollegiate rowing program in the world. That's the highest goal, but what does that mean? I think that we're right now we're just trying to work on our technique and getting stronger. And so the intermediate goals are for the guys. They have technical things they're working on, and then they're using different metrics to figure out how they're getting stronger as oarsmen over the year. And then as we get closer to racing season, we'll make more intermediate goals as we get closer to that.
That's one of the hard things of the sport is the teamwork aspect, and being able to figure out, everybody being able to have that repetition to be able to have a great clean boat. And when you start out, it starts out a little rocky, and you got to get used to it, and you have to figure out how to get the boat to send the best. But then once you do that, it's really good, and it starts feeling a lot better. It takes time, like anything else, time and patience, I guess you could say.
And it's amazing. We have guys here who have never touched an oar ever, come into the program, and within 9 months of training are national champions. It's pretty amazing. I don't think there's any other sport really here on the campus that at the varsity level where you can do that.
What does it mean to row for the UW? It's definitely a storied history. It's been around for forever, and just it's a family. It's like you're rowing for a family. It's like you're part of something that's bigger than yourself. And going and doing that, once you get in there and you start actually joining what everybody else has been a part of, it really becomes special to you, I think.
Hey Tyler, remember Pokemon cards?
Pokemon cards.
Yeah, they were like a total fad in elementary school.
Oh, it's coming back to me.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, they're making a comeback on this campus. Kat talked to Pokemon Masters at the UW Pokemon Center.
There it is. You have 8 badges just like I do. It is a club for people who like Pokemon to come and talk about Pokemon and do things like watch YouTube videos where there are Pokemon memes and mainly just battle and trade and, you know, meet people that have similar interests as you.
What is Magnemite? And I mean Magneton.
We started this club because we were together in the Star Trek Club, which is also a very nerdy club, and we spent a lot of our time talking about Pokemon, and it annoyed about half of the club because they didn't like Pokemon, so we decided to start our own club. Basically because we both always got the new DS games, and we were also, you know, talking about it and trading and battling, so we wanted more people to trade and battle with. I just kind of forgot about Pokemon for a while through middle school or so, and then near the end of high school I got back into it because even though some people think of it as a kid's game, the video games at least are pretty complex if you actually look at statistics and their like effort values and things like that. We are talking about the Japanese games, Black and White, which came out in Japan over the summer, and so some of our members have it, and we've been battling with each other and just trying to figure out how the games work, because only a few of us know much Japanese, so it's helpful for people that do have the game and don't understand any Japanese to come here, and we can help translate things.
ようこそ。こちらでは多くの友達と
We want to start up a trading card game league. We've had some talks with people about that, about making an official league, which would be really nice because we would be getting support from the Pokemon company. So they would be giving us things to award to people that are in the league, which is nice if you want to win stuff. And yeah, if we can get funds, there are probably other things that we would be doing.
You're a girl? You shop as a girl in this.
No duh.
Why are you a girl?
Because I'm always a girl.
Why are you always
If
a
you're
girl?
very socially awkward, that's okay. Most people that come to clubs like Pokemon Club are a little socially awkward, and that's fine. We're not going to scare you. No. Yeah.
Kim Spalding and Kat Chow covered President Barack Obama's visit to the UW. Here's their story.
Please join me in welcoming the President of the United States, President Barack Obama.
President Barack Obama came to the UW yesterday. He was rallying for Democratic Senator Patty Murray. Republican candidate Dina Rossi is threatening to take Murray's seat. Obama's message: students need to vote.
If you haven't already voted for Patty Murray, let me be clear. You need to go right after this rally, fill out that ballot, and mail it in. Today, not tomorrow, not the next day, but today.
In 2008, young adults voted in record numbers. Obama has visited colleges around the country to encourage that same group to vote in this election. Reporter Kim Spalding talked to students after the rally.
It was pretty cool. Honestly, it didn't really feel like we were waiting for 4 hours.
I don't even support the Democratic Party or anything, but I just think it's a good opportunity to see the president of our country, and everyone should respect that he has to work hard every day.
What do you guys think about seeing Obama here today?
Oh, you know, it was a good opportunity to see him.
I was just excited.
Yeah.
Excited for the most part.
You know, he'll come to the 206.
It was really awesome. It was really entertaining, and they were
very passionate about what they were doing, and everybody was just really riled up, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome just getting to see him in person and everything. It was really overwhelming and exciting.
I was actually interested to see Madeline, our ASUW president, talking and kind of supporting Patty Murray, so I was a little surprised, but I think it's great that we've got a liberal, open-minded campus.
What did you think about, his message he had to share with students here today?
Well, I mean, one of the big messages he had was really to just make sure you get out and vote, and, you have to be active in, working hard and, to try and, be the change that you want to, be the change that you want to see in Congress, and that the change that he wants to do, it's going to take time, but you have to be patient with it.
He had a really good message. He made a point across, and he made it serious but funny, and was talking about relating it to a car crash.
It was great. He was good in persuading people not to go to the other side.
I didn't really see a message at all, actually. I mean, I feel like Dino Rossi has better message than Pat Murray did, but, that's just my opinion.
I really liked the quote, the analogy about the driving forward and reversing back, and how the Democrats are really trying to move us forward and change, so I liked that.
Youth are probably the most powerful group of people that are in the country, and if we're more informed and have more exposure to political leaders like this, we'll make better decisions, maybe move the country in a better direction as well, too.
After this short break, I sit down with Casey Smith to talk about the Daily's recent awards.
Brianna Lai sits down with former editor-in-chief Casey Smith to talk about the Daily's 8 awards from the Associated Collegiate Press.
Hi, welcome to the Daily's Double Talk. I'm Brianna Lai. We're here in the Communications Building at the University of Washington. And joining me is Casey Smith, former editor-in-chief of the Daily and current advertising manager. And we're here to talk about some recent awards that the Daily won. Casey, could you tell me a little bit more about them?
Yeah, so the Associated Collegiate Press and the College Media Advisory Conference was just held in Louisville, Kentucky. And it's kind of a big deal because the Associated Collegiate Press recognizes the top papers for their performance throughout the year. The reason the Associated Collegiate Press Awards are a bigger deal than, say, other conferences throughout the year is because they consider every single paper, even if you don't go to the conference. So this year we won 7 awards. It's the most that we've won in school history for the paper, including the Pacemaker Award, which is right here in front of me right now. The Pacemaker Award means that we are one of the 4 best newspapers in the country.
Okay, great. What are some of the other awards that you won? I understand that you actually won an award, so could you tell me a little bit about that one?
I did. I was nominated and won the award for Editorial and Opinion of the Year, which was interesting. I wasn't really expecting to win. I submitted 3 pieces at the end of last year having to do with a series that I wrote examining issues in the newsroom. And the piece that was highlighted was one that I specifically wrote about diversity in the newsroom. And in it I talked about what it was like to work as a white male in a diverse campus and dealing with feedback from the community about not being able to accurately represent them as a white male. At the time, it was simply just me explaining, why I love doing what I do in journalism and why I serve the community. So to be recognized on a national level, and for somebody to say, that was one of the strongest pieces of the year was definitely surprising.
Yeah, that's really neat. So obviously this is something that is really personally, it's a great achievement for you. But how do you think winning these awards affects our campus?
I think an important thing to remember, especially with the state of the news industry right now, is that the Daily won these awards in one of the toughest budget years in school history, and it's just a testament to the campus for what students can accomplish. I mean, we have a lot of talented students on campus that we get to hear about every day working at the paper. We were able to do things last year like create a campus sustainability fund. Student government did some great things with voter initiatives and getting students registered to vote. And so to be able to contribute, as a student working on the student paper, it's the student voice and say, look what we did as well. It's just an important message for everybody on the campus that doesn't matter what your circumstances, what the finances are like. If you work hard and you believe in what you do, you can see real results.
Yeah, definitely. So for the other awards, I mean, what is the process behind submitting, certain stories? How exactly does that work? Which writers are eligible to submit for the competition? Is it, your editorial staff, or could you explain that a little bit more?
So yeah, they have a category for almost anything that you could think of. There's photo, design, writing, multimedia. We were lucky enough to take home 3 design awards, including a multimedia story of the year. I think a lot of people might remember a 5-part series that we did, where we investigated in depth what the budget cuts really meant to the university. And 5 different writers wrote more than 500 inches of copy. 500 inches of copy, that would be like writing a 5-page essay for one of your classes. We planned this series for months, really, really extensively worked on it. Really at the end of the day, we looked at the series that we had, and we did all this work, and we wanted to make sure that it was contextualized and saved so that generations from now people could look back and see how our university dealt with this historic period of dealing with these budget cuts. So we just threw them up online, and we created a neat masthead for them, and kind of created a space where students could comment about them and where you could view all of the series in one piece together. And it was almost an afterthought, the original choice to put them up, and it was also an afterthought to submit them. We originally wanted to submit the stories individually for awards, and then our advisor recommended that we submit them as a series. And it got first place. It was exciting.
It's really neat. Yeah, I guess, do you have any future plans for what you're going to be submitting this year? How's that going to work? I think we're running out of time, but do you guys have any plans for?
Nobody who works in the newspaper does it for the awards. We're, of course, going to continue to submit so we can continue to, set the standard for what great journalism is, especially as a student newspaper. So, you're definitely going to see us submitting more pieces in the future.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks so much for watching the Daily's Double Talk.
Tyler, I really miss the old hub. I have to walk all the way around campus if I want to get to the Daily.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. But wait till you see what they have in store for us. I go behind the scenes to get the inside scoop on the hub renovation.
The jackhammering, blowtorching, and bobcat bulldozing has turned the hub deconstruction zone into an area where you might want to wear a set of earplugs. Or even a hard hat if you've got one. However, noise pollution, flying bits of concrete, and bulky machinery should be the least of our worries.
We're all going to have to make a lot of sacrifices over the next 2 years, but before we hear about any more adjustments we're going to have to make, let's talk to the guy who says it's all worth it.
It's Paul Sikowski that lets me into the restricted area. He explains how this is the largest capital project he's worked on in the last 26 years with UW. In Paul's portable office in the middle of the construction site, I learned what his team has set out to accomplish with an almost $83 million budget.
Right now, we're demolishing, obviously. We really won't start building, I believe, until like March of next year, because we have internal demolition. We have to obviously cut holes in the building and all this other stuff. So there's a tremendous amount of work of destruction before you get to construction. The building is going to be completely remodeled on the first, second, and third floors. We are gutting out every single wall, all the way to the existing structure. We are also demolishing the auditorium and replacing it with a multi-purpose room with a flat floor, with a stage and green rooms. This project is going to replace all of our plumbing, all of our electricity, all of our HVAC, seismically bring the building up to code. We have all these parts and pieces built in different times and that. So there'll be a tremendous amount of work that, as a user of the building, you won't see, what I would call infrastructure. But that infrastructure helps make the space more usable.
Of course, improving infrastructure and removing dangerous asbestos are essential upgrades. But more importantly, Paul was part of a student-involved committee that came up with 4 overriding goals to help guide the development of the project into building a new and improved hub that everyone could call home.
The 4 goals of the committee were to 1, make the hub a welcoming space, to 2, open the building, which daylight, to connect to the campus, and then also build community. And the build community part was one of that whole idea of taking the ASUW and various entities and putting them all down on the first floor in that center core. But the whole idea was to sort of connect all those things that were scattered throughout the building. And I know you're not going to be able to see this by my drawing on this paper, but what we're creating inside the hub is a hub, because you'll have that first floor street, You'll be able to go up those stairs to the second and third floor, and everything will surround that atria on those other floors. So it is going to be an impact. But the one thing I found on this campus in my 26 years here is students on this campus are very resilient and very, very resourceful. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, and I'm not saying there's not going to be some hardship, but I can honestly say, you know, we'll all survive.
Before heading over to the Surge building on the west side of campus, I stopped by the Resource Center to ask how the hub renovation project is impacting students.
Okay. It's been very positive for us. I don't know if you've ever been at a resource center, but we basically lived in a dungeon. So this is probably the max of people that can fit in here. So we have this bigger space, and we're actually at the front, and we're not at the super down basement. So it's given us a lot of traffic coming in, and a lot of groups start knowing that this is a resource center for them. So it's been very positive for us.
Surprised by what I learned at the Resource Center, I head over to the Surge building to find out more.
So where's everyone supposed to go for the next 2 years while the hub's under construction? Well, the people inside are working hard not only to maintain services, but to make Condon Hall the hub away from home.
Once inside, I meet the people who've been on this since the very beginning. First up, Lincoln Johnson. He's been working on a new and improved hub for the last 5 years.
Oh wow, this is really happening. Because it's a huge project. I mean, it's a 270,000 square foot building. It's the busiest building on the University of Washington campus. We do probably more programming, more meetings, and more interactions with students than most of the places on campus. I'm very proud of what we're doing.
And for Leila Salmasi, having her office moved to another building has given her a unique opportunity.
I keep calling my experience in Condon as kind of a laboratory. I get to experience and do different things, diverse things that I never really get a chance to do. Interact with the student population, faculty, staff of this campus in different ways, kind of outside the box.
Although excited by the hub's renovation, Sarah Torres gets right to the source of frustration.
Dining is closed, services are moving, how long is this going to take, how are people going to fit in their daily lives, what they used to do at the hub.
On the elevator ride down to the second floor, which Sarah says is the best place to start if you don't know where to go in the hub at Condon, I thought about the service most impacted by the renovation, and that's when it hit me.
Thousands of seats and over a dozen food vendors were displaced when the hub closed. Dining services is going to have to start thinking outside the box.
When we got word that the Husky Den was going to close, we thought, oh, it's perfect. We can roll out these food trucks on campus, take advantage of this trend that's taken the whole country by storm, and bring some really tasty, portable, affordable street foods to the campus. Seems to be what everyone wants. They need to be able to kind of walk and eat, and everyone's in a hurry. Everyone's a little broke right now, so we're hoping that this will make everyone happy.
I liked having the hub as a little place to go, but this is nice to just have a convenient place on campus where everyone kind of meets up.
The Husky Den served somewhere between 6,700 and 7,000 customers a day in a very short period of time, like between 10:30 and say 2 in the afternoon or something. And so the first thing we did is we looked at By George, which is really close by to the hub and also Red Square. We expanded seating, we added cash registers, we moved Subway from the Husky Den over to By George, and then we upgraded the Freshens, which is the frozen yogurt and smoothie bar. So they got like a facelift and an expanded toppings and things like that. Suzzalo Espresso was always one of our most popular cafe locations. I think that our customers appreciate that they don't have to walk too far out of their way to get the convenience items they were used to at the hub. Really love to hear more, especially from the student community, what they'd like to see at the Husky Den when they reopen in 2012.
From long lines at Subway to mobile food trucks in Red Square, UW services once found in the hub have now been scattered throughout campus or slashed altogether. So the question this fall is simple: how will the university adjust?
Brianna, have you seen the new food trucks in Red Square?
Yeah, I tried the Hawaiian barbecue place. It's pretty good, but I haven't tried the other ones yet.
Let Kat help you decide with her review of the new food trucks in Red Square.
Walking through Red Square, you can't miss the food trucks. Housing and Food Services put them there in response to the hub closing. So now the question is, how good can food from a truck be? It's not uncommon to see lines of people at the food trucks, especially around lunchtime. But does that actually mean that students like the food?
The food carts, actually the only one I really like is this one, the Hawaiian, the moto surf.
It's easy, it's convenient, and that's really the most important thing.
I actually really like them. For like the hot dogs, it's very convenient.
And from tacos to burgers, students have already found their food truck favorites.
The barbecue chicken is $5, so that's pretty good. I thought the other ones were not that well priced, and also the amount of food that you got wasn't so good. That's why I only go to moto surf.
I usually order the Italian chicken sausage, and depending on like what the special is, I'll get that.
I mean, we're kind of stuck with what we have, so for $5, it's a pretty decent amount of food. Keep you going between classes. You don't have to go down to the Ave to get the food, so it's not horrible.
I ordered the spicy tater tots and the pollo asado taco, and you know, it tasted good. But for over $4, the price was steep for the portion sizes. And I think I would only come here again if I was walking through Red Square and really hungry. For the Double Shot, I'm Kat. Ciao!
That's it for this week's episode.
Join us next time on November 19th.
Don't forget to set your TiVo.
Thanks for watching the Daily's Double Shot.